Hi, this is Russ Benson. I am a Liverpool supporter, and you're listening to Drunkard United Football Show. You all need Jesus.
We really do need Jesus.
Glory be.
But just a little bit behind the curtain. You know, if you're going to be witty and you're going to try to throw some like curveball when you count down 5, 4, 3, and then do two different numbers that aren't 2 and 1, you got to make sure you actually execute the hitting of the intro button right on time. I'm getting stared daggers at me right now.
If looks could kill, you'd be 12 feet under.
Oh, hell
buried
yes, I would be.
twice.
It don't matter. It was a great weekend in the Prem, wasn't it, Sammy?
There's a lot of goals for people to be excited about. Everyone except us and you and her.
I mean, it wasn't as bad as everyone thought it would be.
That's true. Fair enough.
We still got a show to do. Show some fucking, show some panache. Let's start the show. Hello and welcome to the Drunkard United Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Huston, and across the way from me is the non-showman? No, yes, I got to say the word correctly.
Yeah.
As a professional, right?
Right after. See, worry about your own house before you start making fun of other people, sir.
All right, well,
Okay.
How about you pep it up there a little bit, motherfucker? You
No,
got some good whiskey
Fuck
in your
that,
glass.
okay? Fuck that.
All right. So we're recording at Studio H just outside our nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. And should you want to chat with us, there's many ways that you can. Sammy, tell the people how they can get in touch.
At DUfootballshow on all the social medias. It's Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And then DUfootballshow@gmail.com. And we did get a couple pieces of correspondence from our boy Pat, Chef Bentley.
Absolutely.
So we'll be talking about those when we talk about those games.
Excellent.
One's about Arsenal, one's about Everton.
Pardon me. I'm a little bit more concerned about Bentley getting his ass back down here and cooking me some food. I'm a big
Actually,
boy.
he might be crashing my house in a couple of weeks.
Oh, yes. Bentley
Yeah.
got to cook for us. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
The Drunkard United Facebook group is going great. Lots of correspondence this weekend. It was a
and
lot of
that's-
fun chatting with everybody.
Find that closed group, guys. It's Drunkard United FC on Facebook.
If you like the show on Facebook, or if you are friends of Samurai on Facebook, you can jump right on into the group. We'll invite you in.
Yeah, just answer the questions, and you'll be good to go.
Absolutely. Now, one other quick shout out that I meant to do last week, but I forgot to do. Southern Cal Everton last weekend won the internet. Right after the Brighton match,
I saw
they actually tweeted at Brighton Police Department, "There was a crime in your town. We need you to address it. Please take care of it immediately." The Brighton Police Department responded, and they actually thought that it was like a real deal. They were like, "Well, please fill out an incident report on our on our website because we don't do any." We don't take any calls on Twitter. But again, very good, brilliant, fucking brilliant. Love it. So Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry, and both of us have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So Sammy, as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every show. What are we sipping on tonight, Killer?
So we have old-fashioned cocktails today. Excuse me. And if you follow us on Facebook, you will have already seen that. Or if you're a member of the closed group, you will have already seen that video, how to make it. But anyway, we're using Whistle Pig 10-year-old rye whiskey, some little brand that nobody knows about up in Vermont. Just kidding. We both sell this brand.
Yes.
And it's fucking fantastic.
I actually work for the brand, and
Yeah.
Sam sells the brand it has in his distributor house.
Yep.
And if you go on the video, you can see Sam Houston's snazzy Whistle Pig flip-flop sandals.
House shoes.
House shoes,
House
thank you.
shoes.
I was looking for the word.
We're from PG County, man.
Man's got to have his house shoes. Got to be
Snazzy.
comfy.
Yeah. Anyway, it's 100% rye whiskey, coming in at 100 proof. It'll run you between $69.99 and $79.99 on the shelf. It's just an excellent rye whiskey. Being 100% rye, it is big in terms of the flavor profile. It has a nice peppery finish to it. But being aged 10 years also kind of mellows it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Makes it very drinkable and approachable, even still with that big flavor profile.
Great in a cocktail, great on its own. Talking about the 100% rye. Typically, when you see more affordable ryes on the market, I'm not going to disparage any brands, but typically when you see
I sell one of them.
right, when you see a more affordable rye, there's a reason why it's affordable. it isn't all rye. There's
Right.
almost always a bunch of barley or a bunch of corn put into it.
Yep.
You put a bunch of corn into it.
Sometimes wheat.
Right? Corn's bourbon. What is bourbon? Bourbon is sweet. So if you're going to put a bunch of corn into a rye whiskey, suddenly that rye whiskey becomes a lot sweeter.
Yep.
And what you're looking for when you're drinking a rye is just big, bold, and peppery. So, and this makes a delightful old fashioned that we actually did a maple variant of
I was
because
gonna
we
say.
did the maple syrup with it.
Yep.
Now, apparently the wife likes them. She approves.
Yeah, I like the maple.
Oh, let's have a great show, everybody.
Let's do it to it, guys. Whack.
That never sounds good when you try to do it to yourself.
That never works.
That's
I mean,
right.
it works. It accomplishes a task, but it's just
Well,
disappointing typically.
Are we talking about drinking here, or are we just talking about you, Sam?
I mean, you could use it for whatever euphemism you'd like.
First off, what a fucking weekend, huh? I mean,
Yeah.
I know our teams didn't give us necessarily the results we wanted, but God,
Understatement of the day.
it was a great weekend for football, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was a lot of fun.
And even cooler, something that hasn't happened in a long time is the two top teams playing simultaneously on the same day, both playing at 10 o'clock, well, Eastern time, but the midday game on at the same time on a Saturday. So neither side really knew how they were doing. And got to tell you, they were anything but a tune-up considering they're both facing each other next
yeah.
weekend. So Liverpool 2, Aston Villa 1, Man City 2, Southampton 1. Score lines were both similar. Both were comebacks. Ultimately, the top sides won, but that's pretty much where the similarities end for these two matches.
Yeah. Like you said, both Villa and Southampton went up early. Well, first, not
Right.
necessarily early. But in the Villa-Liverpool game, it was a very lively start, and I thought both teams wasted chances, to be honest. I think Villa had their
I
chances.
actually have some insight on this.
Okay.
I did some research.
All right.
I was watching, reading an interview with McGinn, and he said that they had a lot of good opportunities in the first half because I wrote it down because I think y'all can translate this English-ism for me.
Okay.
He's Irish, but sure.
Yeah, Liverpool, they were rowing with each other. Now, I know that means like...
Probably rowing.
Yeah, fighting, rowing,
Rowing,
R-O-W-I-N-G, yeah. But apparently the Liverpool players were disorganized, arguing amongst themselves and fighting.
That's
and
not a good
that
sign.
gave Villa a lot of chances to
Yeah.
take the lead early.
And that's not a good sign.
Right. And we'll pardon me, we'll hit on to the City game in a second, but the goals are very different. The Southampton goal was Ederson spilling the ball. The goal from Villa was a convincing, gorgeous cross.
Yeah.
And it was an emphatic statement kind of goal.
Yeah, absolutely. John McGinn had that lovely delivery.
Dare I say it was inspired?
It was absolutely inspired.
That's the running joke that because apparently my entire game, all the commentators were talking about was the lack of inspiration, and it
yeah.
needs to be inspired. And so Mel just loves using the word inspired.
I counted during the halftime break because there really wasn't much to talk about.
Right.
15 times they said a version of inspired.
That would be essentially drinking an entire fifth of whiskey if we went through your drinking game you wanted to do.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, Trezeguet finished that off for his first goal in the Premier League, which was
Brilliant
awesome.
hit.
Yeah,
Brilliant hit.
It was fantastic. And again, like I said, a lovely delivery from John McGinn. Lallana had a ball cut back to him from Firmino. Did you see this? That he almost put out for a throw-in?
Yeah,
just did
he
not make
hit
a
it
good
that
connection
poorly.
at all. Yeah, it was that bad, which I thought was very funny. And then a great goal from Andy Robertson, really. It was a bullet header, kind of Hulk smash. Similar to what Tyrone Mings did a couple of weeks ago. Just like got big and just
And-
powered a header straight through Tom Heaton,
And
which is
just-
unfortunate.
And just minutes before that, Tom Heaton saved the one with his shoulder blade,
Absolutely.
basically exact
He
same thing.
was
Yep.
a one-man beast.
Oh, yeah.
I am
Yeah.
hot for Heaton. I don't. It's my
Oh.
new hashtag.
for
Hashtag
Heaton.
Villanista. Hashtag hot for
Heaton.
Heaton. Yeah,
All right.
absolutely. I have a question,
He
guys.
stood on his head. He played really well.
Oh, I
Absolutely.
mean that one you couldn't do anything about. I have a question.
Sure.
Jack was out because he had he was still nursing a calf injury.
Yeah.
If Jack's on the field, does Villa actually win that match?
It's possible. I mean, Captain Villa inspires them.
Drake.
To be honest, I mean, the way I mean, almost similarly to the way Steven Gerrard used to inspire Liverpool. You know, I mean, having a hometown boy, a one-club man, came up through the academy. You know, all those sorts of things just always kind of galvanizes a team, and he's been in great form lately. I think he has 2 in his last 2 appearances. So
And just the way he's been able to control the ball in the middle of the field too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Their midfield and defense were at 6s and 7s. I mean, this was
for sure.
Yeah.
when we've talked about Liverpool looking poor the past couple of weeks. Now I felt they looked ultimately very good against Tottenham, but apparently everybody looks pretty good against Tottenham right now, with the exception of Everton. But they went back to that regression. Liverpool did not look good. Klopp was not complimentary of his side. He was very critical of his side, in fact.
Oh yeah, as he should have been. Mane was Johnny on the spot into Kloppage time.
Yep.
Actually.
Yep, that's right. The new expression.
The new expression. It used to be Fergie time, obviously.
Yep, now it's Kloppage
Now it's
time.
Kloppage time.
I was a little intrigued to see 5 minutes added to a game that had one goal,
That was some bullshit.
one goal, no injuries, and 2 subs.
Yeah. Fucking hell was
I just
that?
was wondering where that extra minute
Yeah,
to
it's-
come from.
That's strange. It really
that
is.
minute that they actually needed, and
Yep.
yeah. That didn't
And
go
utilized to
unnoticed.
great effect
Oh, yeah.
to break your hearts.
Oh yeah, that didn't go unnoticed.
But again, we've said it time and time again. This is the kind of result, just the situation that they were in and the timing that they were in. This is a draw. This is drop points.
Yeah.
They ground out a win. Somehow, some way, they found a win. That's what champions do. They win ugly.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Liverpool
absolutely.
will find their stride again.
Oh,
Make no
of
mistake
course they
about
will.
that. They will work it out, and they will find their fucking stride again.
Yeah.
So all these results, which last season came in between the holiday period and just after January, where they dropped all those points, and then ultimately dropped points to you at Goodison Park last season, and the culmination of that, which is where City overtook them.
Right.
But they had a 10-point lead and capitulated. These are those kind of games that they did that in last season. They're not doing it.
Yeah, it was only
They're-
one draw in those 5 poor games.
Yep.
It was one draw.
They're
Everything else was a win.
right. They're now finding these wins where they really need to. They're not dropping many points. Obviously, still unbeaten.
I could get them fighting amongst themselves, and they'll fall apart for a better team.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean-
Villa, they did their best. I don't regret the shot that I'm taking, because Villa defended wonderfully.
Speaking
and
of that.
it was go ahead. I wasn't gonna forget, but I was really proud with how the team played.
yeah.
I don't think we have anything to be ashamed of. So I'll take this shot with some pride.
Oh yeah, they gave it their all. Absolutely, they did leave it all out on the field. They
Yeah.
didn't fall over and die like
Nope.
Southampton did against Leicester
Nope.
a couple of weeks ago, or like West Ham did in the first half this week,
I will have to say,
and the first game of the season.
yeah, I am willing. I'm willing to admit a little bit here with Sterling, as Melissa is taking her shot.
Selfie
I'll do the
shots.
selfie first, then I'll do the shot. Up the Villa, #Villanista, and hot for Heaton.
Oh, that sounded like 3 H's there.
Yeah, it did.
Hot for Heaton.
Hot for heat.
Apparently, I have a type. I go for goalies.
Do you have any Cool Whip?
Yeah, I was
really
about to wonder when the Stewie thing was coming out.
Hot for Heaton.
So first game of the season for West Ham, Man City. Sterling gets called offsides by a shoulder blade. Firmino gets called offsides by an armpit. I don't think in either instance it was really offsides, but
Yeah.
all right, both of them got bit for one.
VAR had a fucking shit weekend. Can we just get that over with now?
Yeah, we'll I mean, I've got so much to say right at the
Yeah.
very end when
All
we
right.
get to my game. So
All right.
I think I think 3 calls that I will talk about in my game will encompass exactly everything that's wrong with VAR.
Yeah,
So,
but it was just straight fucked all weekend.
it was horrible.
All
Absolutely
across
horrible.
multiple games, it fucked a lot of shit up.
After they were told by FIFA and the FA, hey, referees,
I found this out.
start using the television screens.
Not a single one went to it.
Right.
FIFA told him, not the Premier League. Apparently, last weekend, and this was an article on Sky Sports. Last week, the head of the professional game match officials, or whatever, the PWGOL,
Got it.
met with all of the coaches of the Southern Premier League teams.
Uh-huh.
And this week they're meeting with all the coaches of the Northern Premier League teams. And apparently VAR is top of the list as to why it sucks so bad and what's going on. Apparently, this said, the article that I read said that FIFA told them that they should be using the pitch side monitors, and every other country where VAR is in effect, those referees use the pitch side monitor.
Right.
For whatever reason, in the Premier League, they don't. In the Premier League, I think we misspoke because I think it was reported falsely that the Premier League told them to go use it. They're there, they're plugged in, but apparently they're not supposed to walk over there because they're worried about interrupting the game for a length of time or having players and supporters turn on the referee. Because at least if somebody else is making the decision, the referee can hold his hands up and say, hey, it's the guy 50 miles away from here.
I think Arlo White said it very eloquently on Saturday during the
This is so
Chelsea-Watford match. He points out, he goes, there's the VAR monitors. And they appear to be plugged in, too.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know
Yes.
why they're there if they're telling them not to use them. I don't know why they're there at all. And then it doesn't make a lot of sense. It sounds, like this was just half-ass instituted.
I have a very interesting philosophy on some of it. I'm going to save it for
That's fine.
international break because I think it's a good discussion to have.
Yeah.
I'm thinking perhaps the refs might be bottling it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, like legitimately bottling it because they don't like the idea of VAR.
They're purposely bottling it.
I think they could be.
You think they're fucking it up so they can get rid of it?
Again, it'll be a topic for our international break. I think that could be a good 20 minutes to fill out a show.
I like that. Football conspiracy theories.
Yes,
Most
exactly.
of the shit we'll just make up ourselves. Tune into the international break.
So, like I mentioned earlier, Ederson with a rare mistake so far this season. He's been pretty much perfect.
To
but
be honest, it was a decent hit that bounced just in front of him in kind of harsh conditions, which is exactly what you want to do, is put the keeper
Right.
in a difficult place. With the way the ball skids or bounces in those conditions can be difficult to handle.
Still
And
got to
in
get
this-
it away.
Well, absolutely.
Got to get it away.
You would expect somebody of his quality to do better.
Yeah.
But they always tell you, try to hit just in front of the goalkeeper because they never know how it's going to come off the ground.
No.
And in this case, he fucked it up, and it was very well done. James Ward-Prowse.
Right on the spot.
Johnny on the spot,
Yep.
man. Yeah.
Followed it right in. The I mean, not that I'm a world class goalkeeper, but I've played keeper. You typically, when you judge it, you see it coming in, and you know you're not going to get it. You just get it away.
Yeah, just claw it away.
It'll
Absolutely.
be an ugly corner, and your team will look at you like you've got two heads. Like, what the hell were you doing? You're like,
Yeah.
nope. You're like,
It just needed to get out of here.
You're like, I wasn't holding that.
Yeah.
I wasn't holding that. And you just
Exactly.
knock it away.
Yep.
Like I said, though, but that game felt more like a fortunate opportunity for Southampton, more where the Villa-Liverpool match felt like an equal adversary. It never felt like City, because we had the Liverpool-Villa game on the TV, and I was watching the City-Southampton match on my phone.
Right.
And it just never really felt like City wasn't going to get the 3 points. Like,
No,
you
not
knew
at
it
all.
was going to come.
I mean,
And-
after that, there were a few more chances here and there, but after that, City really dominated possession, dominated the chances, and Sergio Aguero himself had 3 or 4 before he put one away.
Yeah.
It was actually uncharacteristically kind of wasteful.
Yeah, that
to
was
be
surprising.
honest.
He's
There
normally
was
very good at
a couple of headers that he met on the way up as opposed to at their highest point that he normally, 2 of them were free headers.
Oh, there's one he was right in the middle of the 6, and he just slapped his hands on the ground afterwards. He
Yeah.
knew he blew it.
Really frustrated with himself. But it was him that came up trumps to score the equalizer. And then Kyle Walker did really well to adjust his body and with his wrong foot meet the cross that was overhit with his wrong foot on the slide and volley it in
Well
for the
hit
winner.
ball, really
Yeah,
well
absolutely.
hit ball. Do you think
And
that
he's in my fantasy team.
Do you think that perhaps the midweek cup matchup that Southampton and City faced against each other, although frankly City didn't put their A squad out there, but do you think it kind of gave Southampton an idea of, okay, this is exactly what we should expect as far as an attack should go? And I just don't feel convinced that it was like Southampton rallied and decided not to give up goals after that monstrous defeat to
No. No,
Leicester. It just kind of felt like, oh, I just saw them 4 days ago.
Right.
We know what we're expecting.
The one thing that I would say to that point, though, is City only has an A squad.
That's true.
Even their B squad is an A squad.
This was their D squad. This was all their kids were playing for the most part.
I mean,
they
some
still
of
had
them.
some
Yeah,
good players
Sergio
out there,
Aguero,
yeah.
Kyle Walker, John Stones.
Yeah. But they also had a ton of kids
I mean,
out
Phil
there.
Foden was out there. Yeah, Bernardo Silva was out there. I mean, they still had a fair few.
I'm talking about the League Cup game in the middle of the week.
Oh, you're not.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
talking that they faced him in the middle of the week
Oh,
in a
yeah.
League Cup game where
Yeah.
at City.
Yeah,
So-
that was a practice round. They knew they were going to lose. That was
Yeah.
a practice round for the weekend.
Right. So
It was
Southampton
basically a scouting trip.
But that's exactly
Yeah.
what I'm saying. So I don't think that score, especially if Ederson doesn't give up that early goal and doesn't make that mistake. I think by halftime, City's probably winning, and then City probably
Yeah.
runs away with it.
I'd agree with that.
It felt more like circumstance that the game was where it was. Where, like I said again in Liverpool, Villa was there to have a go.
Yeah.
And Liverpool wasn't necessarily ready for him. So it was, I mean...
Well, and again, Villa's been in good form, and they were at home, so riding the crowd. Liverpool obviously being a big team, and people forget how massive of a club Aston Villa is.
yeah.
And they have a proud tradition there as well that kind of went wayward under the American ownership of Randy Lerner.
Yeah.
So
Stick to baseball, win World Series, don't run a soccer team, right?
That's right. Which is what we do. Win World Series.
Teams expected to be at the bottom of the table have been playing really well lately, getting points. In fact, all of them got 3 points this weekend. Brighton 2, Norwich 0, Sheffield United 3, Burnley 0, Newcastle 3, West Ham 2. Seagulls winners of 3 of their last 4, Sam.
This was a huge six-pointer.
And the only loss was Villa late in extra time.
Yeah. Yep. This was a big six-pointer, and Norwich failed to deliver again. They rattled the bar once, which doesn't officially count as a shot on target. So officially, they failed to register a shot on goal.
Ugh.
Norwich City. You can't win a football game if you don't put the ball in the back of the net.
So, not knowing a ton about Norwich, other than obviously the little bit that we've seen of them so far in the Prem, and also unfortunately not getting anybody to do the show during the summer to kind of talk a little bit about Norwich. Been kind of relying on Twitter.
That's a dig.
That is a dig. Kind of been looking at Twitter to see what fans of Norwich are saying.
Don't we have a button for that?
Oh yeah.
It's on the other page. I think I can find it.
Yeah, all these
somewhere.
buttons. She gets all excited,
I mean, I
pushes
can-
the
I
unmute
can
button.
pull
Good. It works out so I can cough again because apparently all I can do on this show tonight is cough my fucking ass off.
It happened on injury time last week, too.
Yeah, I just don't know what it is. The
No,
fall allergies.
I don't
kill
have a
me in
button
the
for that.
fall.
It is.
That was daft. Oh,
That's
damn.
what I have.
All right, well, fuck me then. Fuck them.
There we go. So, what I was seeing a lot on Twitter from Norwich City supporters was the fact that they don't have either one of their starting center backs. Okay, understandable. That can make life hard on you, and I know there's a ton of injuries. But if you don't register a fucking shot on goal in a game, you can't fucking win.
Yeah.
Period. End of discussion.
You can't win if you don't put the ball in the back of the net. And I don't know what happened. All the goals, they were free-flowing the first 4 or 5 games of the season.
Yeah.
Timu Pukki came out like with a fucking barn burner, and we've barely heard his name spoken since. It's all going very wrong, and I'm starting really to worry for Daniel Farke's job.
I feel like this is going to be the 20th place team.
Oh no, Watford are horrendous. They'll be a solid 19th.
I'm
Norwich,
thinking.
but
I'm
Watford's
thinking.
fucking
I'm
terrible.
thinking Watford's going to be a solid 19th, and Norwich is going to be 20th. But also Trossard for Brighton getting back into the team. He was in the team last week against Everton, and frankly made Sidibe his girlfriend the entire second half when he came onto the pitch.
Yep.
Doing it again in this match. He adds a really nice flair to that team, and this is different than last year with the kind of unexpected wins they were getting last year. This team seems a little more convincing, and it's not just
for
relying
sure.
on defense.
Absolutely. Graham Potter's really opened them up a bit. and allowed them to express themselves. And Glenn Murray by himself at 34, 35 years old, whatever he was last season, did enough to keep them in the league, obviously, but they didn't really have too much going forward at all.
Yeah.
The addition of Trossard and the emergence of Conley have really freed them up and allow that team to play.
Yeah.
Trossard with the lovely little touch.
Oh, yeah.
For the first goal, just the perfect toes length to just nudge that around the already committed Tim Krul, which was cruel on him because he had done very well to keep Norwich in the game up till that point.
Yeah.
And made a couple of saves after that as well that were fantastic. And then Shane Duffy with a lovely slide stretch to reach the cross that came in from deep and score was wonderful for him as well. And you saw what it meant to him, pounding his chest and going crazy.
So,
Yeah, Shane Duffy's your old boy, isn't he?
yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Irish national as well.
Maybe you could have used him.
Good. Currently, yes. The Blades have not lost since the drop ball against Liverpool.
Yep.
They are cruising right along.
Oh yeah, and really out Burnley.
Yeah.
When they ended up starting to turn the screw, but Burnley really didn't threaten hardly at all in this game. They also, Burnley, failed to register a shot on target despite having more of the ball.
Burnley.
They had like 57% possession or something close to that number and did not register a shot on target.
Burnley pulled a bit of an Everton. They Evertoned that, as we like to say. They were down 1-0. Ball comes across the center of the box on a corner kick. Should have been called a handball. VAR doesn't call it a handball because, when your arm's away from the body and it hits you directly in the arm, that's apparently not a handball unless you're on offense. So
Hashtag sarcasm.
yeah. So
that was unfortunate, obviously. That should have been a penalty.
And then 2 quick goals right after that, and it just seemed like Burnley just didn't care after they didn't get the call. And that's where I say it was like an Everton because it's like, Everton, if the call doesn't go their way, they suddenly just fold up. Well, that's exactly what it seemed like Burnley did, which is very uncharacteristic for a Dyche team. I was very surprised.
100%. But a lovely flick from Mousse.
Yeah.
All
3 assists, right? I think he had all 3 assists.
That's possible. Did he get a hat trick of assists? I'll look that up. But the first one, definitely he did.
And goals in his last 2 games as well.
Yeah,
and
ball was cut into him. Both defenders committed to him, and he just flicked it with the outside of his left boot, but diagonal behind him to the on-rushing Lundstrom.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I was looking up the stats for your game before I get here so I could take digs at you.
Oh, thanks. Very good.
No problem.
It's not hard to do.
I mean, Mousse did have all 3 assists. You're absolutely right.
I do wonder, like I said, if Burnley gets that penalty and if Burnley ties it up 1-1, is that a completely different game?
Absolutely.
I think it probably is.
It definitely is.
It really, really is, especially because, let's face it, Sheffield does play off of a lot of emotion,
Yeah, for sure.
Take that emotion out of the game and make it just a clinical, physical game. Burnley typically wins those.
Yeah. But Sheffield, like I said, has been playing a very organized, compact, counterattacking style. And really moved Burnley around. That little grass cutter cross.
Yeah.
Where the hell was everybody?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's at least 2 missed assignments in that goal. And I'm not sure maybe they just didn't have it that day. I mean, everybody's allowed a bad day at the office, and I think this may have been Burnley's.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of chalking it up to. I think it was just Burnley had a bad one, and it just didn't go their way. Now, Sheffield, can they keep this up? They're in 6th place currently.
No.
That's exactly what I think. So, when was the last time Newcastle scored 3 goals on the road?
I think it has been. I think it's been 15 matches since they've scored more than 1 goal in a game. Period.
See, you stepped all over my punchline. I was gonna say, when's the last time they just scored 3 fucking goals?
Oh, yeah. I looked this stat up because the scoreline was so surprising to me. So I did look that up, and it's been 15 matches since they scored more than 1 in a game.
Yeah, it's just insane. I wonder if that was the Man City 2-1 win.
It might be.
Yeah,
That would have had to have been, I think, because that was in like March, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
or April last year.
No. It was It was either in February or January because it was by March. They never gave up a point again. City.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you're right. So no, there was something else that happened then.
Yeah, I think it was that 2-1 loss was the last time they dropped points last season.
So Alan, I just want to start off and say congratulations, my friend. Your Newcastle were, dare I say, clinical.
Yeah.
Only had 30% of the ball, but more shots on target than West Ham. And Newcastle are up to 15th place, 4 points clear of the relegation zone, and Steve Bruce is still in a fucking job, and Mike Ashley still owns a club. Jesus Christ.
Sounds like they were inspired.
Somebody check hell. I think it froze over.
This club's going to escape probably.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like
Absolutely. It's crazy. Both center backs scored.
Yep.
And neither one of them was Jamal Lascelles.
Exactly.
Which is who Hulk smashed a header in a couple of weeks ago also.
Yep.
But it was, nor Fabian Scher, who likes to score goals. This time it was Kieran Clark and Federico Fernandez, wasn't it?
Yes. Think so.
I lost my goddamn... Yeah, Federico Fernandez.
There you go. That
Lost
boy.
my spot. Another great cross. On his goal, though, I have no idea where the fuck the defense was.
Right.
Not sure what happened with that one. And the keeper came in. He came way too late and ended up putting himself in fucking no man's land.
We expected that from Roberto, though. There was concerns about Roberto in the net versus Fabianski.
Absolutely.
And that's definitely reared its ugly head a couple of times in the last few weeks.
Yeah, and he has those wings tattooed on his neck, and it looked like the motion he was doing to his tattoo artist when he tattooed him on for that John Joe Shelby free kick.
Oh,
It was fucking stupid.
It was terrible.
30 yards out. What are you doing? It got hands to it, and it still went in the back of the net.
And
It's pitiful. But finally, Robert Snodgrass found a goal from open play.
yeah,
Towards
used to always
the end.
be set pieces.
Yeah, every goal. Balbuena's for the first for West Ham was a set piece. So all three of Newcastle's were set pieces, and one of West Ham's two was.
Mighty impressive from Snodgrass. His playing down in the championship for the last couple of years, kind of an older veteran guy, gets onto this team. Figure he's probably just going to be a bench player, and he's wiggled his way into this lineup.
He's got great delivery.
He's playing some good football.
He's got an eye for a pass. He takes a great free kick. I like Robert Snodgrass, always did, and he's a tough-nosed Scotsman. So
the fuck is going wrong with West Ham right now?
no Fabianski, and West Ham sometimes turns up without desire, heart, or determination. And this was one of those days. I mean, Newcastle didn't do anything special. It's just lack of concentration. They scored on 3 set pieces.
You were down 3-0 in your own building against a relegation battle team.
Yep.
That is hard to wrap your head around.
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of
West Ham.
fans left at 2-0.
It's-
And then the players look up and are like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah.
You know what else I noticed about this game?
What?
That bubble machine was on fucking overdrive.
Oh yeah.
Before the match, those
Lots of
bubbles didn't dissipate for like 3 minutes.
That is the hard-hitting analysis you're going to get here on the Drunkard United Football Show.
Yeah.
Is the bubble machine.
Tiny bubbles in the stands.
Do you know their song?
No, not at all.
It's, I'm forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air. They fly so high they reach the sky, and like my dreams, they fade and die.
Yeah, I could have gone the rest. I could have gone the rest of my life without knowing that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I just find it funny that they had the bubble thing in overdrive, the bubble machine.
Yep.
And then, like their dreams, they fade and die, and they lost 3-2 to fucking Newcastle at home.
Rounding out the rest of the league, and so that happened. Arsenal won, Wolverhampton won, Bournemouth won, Manchester United 0, Chelsea 2, Watford 1, Leicester 2, Palace 0,
Fuck you guys.
and Everton 1, Tottenham 1. Sammy.
Another capitulation.
Yeah, pretty much.
Arsenal didn't kill the game off, obviously, but we also have given up 2-goal leads in our last 2 outings, besides this one where we gave up a 1-goal lead. And we're just shit defensively. We got outshot in our own building 8-4 by Wolves, and once they equalized, Emery had a 72 million pound of attacking talent in Pepe sitting on the bench, which I said he should have dropped him 2 weeks ago. Let him get his head right, and this would have been the game that he came in for and probably done well. He brings on 2 18-year-olds and Sead Kolasinac. Fuck you. Fuck you. The only good thing he did was he started Ozil, and Granit Xhaka was nowhere near the first team Saturday. Emery out.
Why is it over, gosh, I want to say the last 8 years, even during Wenger, when it's a down year in the Prem, right? Because it's clear. It's Liverpool and it's City, and everything else is there to be had. All you have to do is play consistent football, and you can't play consistent football. The year Leicester won,
we are playing consistent football.
Consistently
piss poor. Yeah.
Why can't you guys just seem to take advantage of a good situation?
Because we can't have nice things. The karma of going a full season unbeaten in 2004 is finally coming up to us, and we just can't have nice things anymore.
I mean,
I'm worried about Lacazette leaving. I'm worried about Aubameyang leaving because they're not going to keep taking this toxic atmosphere and this bullshit.
Well, and
they're not going to play 4 straight years in a fucking Europa League.
That's what I was about to say. They're not going to play Europa. Those guys are getting older, and they want to play Champions League ball.
And they deserve to play Champions League ball.
Exactly. They deserve it.
And, another week under the fucking vampire that is Unai Emery is just depressing now, man. It really is. I'm over it. And I actually got the correspondence we were talking about earlier, Chef Bentley sent. Because really, there's nothing in the game to talk about.
No, there's not.
It was garbage again. Our transition from defense to attack was a little bit better with Ozil in the team, so we actually had a playmaker, but we chose to not do shit with it. Forward, and Rui Patricio did do well. But all right, that's enough about the game. He asked if I was Unai Emery. If we were Unai Emery, would we ever let Granit Xhaka captain the club still? What do you think?
He did release a statement and apologize for his actions.
He did not apologize.
He gave the apology of the "I'm sorry if it offended you" apology,
which is not an apology,
right? It's a fine line because the players on the field like and respect Xhaka. So if you don't let him wear the armband again, you're probably pissing off your players. But it's also important to send a message to the overall club family that behavior isn't acceptable. I don't think you see the armband on him for a few months, but I do think eventually you see the armband on him again because the overwhelming support from the, quote, right players, a la Lucas Torreira, supporting Xhaka is very... it's surprising. I would have thought players would have just stepped out of the way and been like, glad it's not me. But players are going out of their way to kind of vocalize to a very unpopular opinion and say, no, he's our captain. We respect him. He's something to be said for that. So I think it's a very fine line to walk.
All right. You want my opinion?
Xhaka, fuck off. We can go ahead and go on to the next game.
I hope he never fucking plays for the club again.
Yeah.
I understand that there's internet trolls. I understand that there's people that have put pressure on him in inexcusable and unacceptable ways, talking shit about his family, his wife, his daughter, talking shit about him personally as a human being and not about his job. But as a fan base, I understand all that. And that I don't believe, as a human being, you should need to practice the compartmentalization, right? Those internet trolls are not the ones that are at the games.
Right.
They're not doing that. This was a reaction. The reaction he had may have been to internet trolls, but that he lashed out at the people that were there. And whatever, he said fuck off before he even reached the sideline, so I guarantee you he didn't hear any specific thing that anyone said to him. It was just the loud booing.
Right.
That reaction is inappropriate also. You are supposed to be the captain of this club.
It's what we said last week.
And you're supposed to carry yourself accordingly. And he didn't. Now, I am of...
You wear the armband,
Right.
you are held to a different set of standards.
Now, I am of the opinion anyway that even before this, Xhaka could have fucked off. I don't like him as a player. I don't think he brings anything to the table for us. I think most of the stats that people that want him there have been touting over the last couple of weeks are only there because Emery picks him every fucking game. So if he's on the field more often than he's not, he's going to have better statistics because he's there. He's there playing the game, right? And we like to play very slow, methodical, side-to-side football. So yeah, he's had more touches, more completed passes. He's also lost the ball more than any other player.
Yeah.
You know, he's also
very
gotten
true.
sent off more than any other Arsenal player has in the last since he's been with the club. So there's a massive downside to having him there, and when he is there, I don't see him doing enough to warrant a place in that side. When we have the little bulldog and Lucas Torreira, who does everything well, who's the Uruguayan John McGinn, just works his fucking arse off,
Yeah.
and you have Xhaka strolling around like he owns the place.
Dude.
And I told you last week, the second that a professional athlete feels entitled to that position, right, they are no longer beneficial to the team.
Do you think he's gone in January?
I hope so. If Emery's in charge, he won't be.
Got it.
If Emery's in charge, he won't be, because I don't know if Xhaka has naked pictures of him or what, but
What
I don't know
is-
why Emery can't see that he's shit. I don't get it.
What's your thought then to what I said, where there is just an overwhelming amount of support from the players? Do you think
I mean, I
Emery
think as a team-
loses the team if...
Well, what happened with the Egyptian team and the bad DMs during the World Cup?
Yeah,
or
everybody-
whatever
yeah,
it
yeah,
was.
everybody supported
Or the
him.
African Cup of Nations, maybe.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That everybody showed support for their teammate. That's what a team does. A team is a family.
Okay.
You should do that. And you should have a united front. But you can't fucking do that to your supporters. These are the people that pay your wages. These are the people that come out, spend their hard-earned money that they work 40, 50 hours a week to get, and they come to be entertained. They come to see the team that means more to them than it does to you, and you're the one making millions of dollars off of it.
Right.
Or $1 million a pound. You need to fucking show up, care,
Good
put in a
enough.
shift, and you don't. So fuck off then. No one's bigger than the club. I hope he never plays for the team again. And if I was Emery, if I keep my job past losing to Leicester this weekend, then I would never have him play for the club again. Would
Heard.
be the best thing he could do.
Got it. Now, Cherries finally get a goal in November. Didn't get any in...
Yeah, a lovely goal it was too.
Yeah. So,
Nothing else really happened.
yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, Manchester United didn't do it the week before. They did it this week. This was the game they bottled up.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty even in possession and shots and everything else.
Now,
Martial looked good leading the line, though.
the obvious answer is, it's Pogba, but there's nobody, creating anything currently for Man United. And the answer is, well, Pogba's hurt. But when Pogba comes back, he's not the long-term answer.
Again,
'cause
it's
he's
so
not
toxic.
going to want to be there.
Yeah, it's so toxic. Pogba's not a number 10. But again, Emery's trying to shoehorn Ceballos into the number 10 role before he just brought Ozil back this past week. Right? Pogba's being shoehorned into a number 10. He's not a number 10. He's a box-to-box guy.
Yep.
He's probably the best box-to-box midfielder in the world, and they're using him ineffectively.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's really not much else to say.
Well,
about
this is
that
like
match.
Maurizio Sarri and N'Golo Kante last season, trying to play him on the right wing, the best defensive midfielder in the world.
Yep,
what are you
they'll play him
doing?
on the right wing?
What the fuck are you doing?
So
It just doesn't make sense.
good win for Chelsea. An ugly, close win that they didn't capitulate, they didn't give away, but also, I dare say, an encouraging loss for Watford.
Yeah, they played pretty well.
They've played really well for the past month. They haven't played poorly.
I'm just worried if they're too far off it.
Yeah.
Is everybody else going to be bad enough for you to claw your way out of it? They're 6 points from safety and still haven't won a game this season.
They're playing the right team this weekend. They're going to Norwich.
Man United? Oh.
No, Watford's going to Norwich.
That was facetious. American on the score sheet
Yep.
again.
Pulisic with
and
another goal.
Tammy Abraham scored and then assisted the winner.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
Pulisic busted a fucking gut to get there.
I another example. I don't want to get into it because I want to kind of keep the ball rolling. But the VAR rears an ugly head again. Was it really a penalty? I mean, Yeah, I mean, you set parameters last week that says that's a clear and obvious, with the Brighton game that was a clear and obvious foul. But then, like the very next day in the Everton match, Son had a very similar penalty claim, and it was called no penalty. So there's just, I'm okay with the idea of everything.
Dove.
Yeah, but there's just got to be consistency to it all. How is that any different than Son's dive against Everton? Because his foot barely got caught underneath. He took a step and then he jumped away, which is exactly what Deulofeu
His leg
did.
kicked out afterwards. That was funny.
Yeah.
Deulofeu took a full step
Yeah, I mean,
after he got kicked.
one was a penalty, one is not a penalty. Okay, well then, if
it
the VAR can't be that consistent, it's just terrible.
It's ruining football, to be honest.
So, Leicester get a scrappy win. They move into third, and it would appear Palace isn't going away.
It was surprisingly even through the whole game here.
Yeah, it wasn't a particularly good first half. The second half was much better.
No, the quality wasn't very good, but it was end-to-end stuff, and they were wasteful again. There was a couple of weird tackles that flew in, but it was pretty entertaining overall, I'd say. I mean, they were, it was hotly contested. Just the quality wasn't there for real. Mm-hmm. So Yun-Chu breaking the deadlock with a stooping header, his first goal as a professional.
Yep.
Which is pretty fucking cool.
Harry who?
Yeah.
A Harry what?
Yeah. Harry 8th place.
Yeah, exactly.
What a hairy spot Man United are in. You like that?
Maguire what?
Blah, blah, blah. Jamie Vardy rounding it out in the 88th minute, as usual, from him. Great pass. And then the finish to match.
Oh, I forgot. We got to go back to Chelsea for just a second.
Yeah.
Jorginho's fucking pass to Tammy Abraham for that first goal.
And Tammy's
my
and
God,
Tammy's
that was
touch.
nasty.
And Tammy's touch. That both things were perfect.
It was like that perfect golf shot that goes up and it just like curved back.
Yeah. He definitely played the fade
forward and it faded right back onto his foot as he puts it away. Yeah, I forgot we had not mentioned that pass. You got to mention that pass.
It hit that bounce, and Tammy, as the goalkeeper was rushing out, Ben Foster just lifted it over him. Just very easy to sky that, right? Have a rush of blood and get nervous. I'm going to get clattered, whatever, and sky it or put it wide. And Tammy just cushioned it right over him, found the back of the net perfectly.
Watch it come down, watch it come to his foot. Didn't look at the goal, just watched it off his foot. Watch the ball the whole time. Whatever else happens is what happens.
Yep.
And he did it brilliantly.
And that ball touched the net before it hit the ground, right?
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Always love that. On chips.
Yeah.
That don't hit the ground first.
Yep.
Or, those little loft. Yep. Yeah. Love that. That was beautiful.
Pretty amazing.
It was beautiful.
All right. So let's go ahead and get into Everton and Spurs. I don't want to talk a ton about the injury because we're talking about a man's livelihood and someone got very brutally injured.
It was a fractured, dislocated ankle.
Yeah, it's dislocated with a bone fractured in the dislocation.
Into the dislocation, yeah.
All I know is your foot does not bend the way it is.
Well, his leg was straight and his foot was directly to the right.
Yeah,
it was nasty.
It was sideways.
I almost threw up.
Everyone watching it, you could tell the
players
on everyone's face was like,
It brought me right back to Eduardo when Ryan Shawcross broke his leg.
Yeah.
And his foot was flopping around as he fell to the ground. It was disgusting.
I had Joe Theismann flashbacks.
Yeah, absolutely. And Alex Smith last year, same thing.
Honestly, we're already saying more than I want to about it.
Well, then real quick, let me get the question out
Please.
Bentley, this was the other part of his correspondence.
Yes, absolutely.
Do we think that when he does come back, Andres Gomes, do we think that he will be the same player that he has been?
I don't know.
We're not medical professionals, by the way. Let's put that disclaimer in here.
For as beautiful of a man he is with his gorgeous hair and his beard and
sweet
his
scars get women too, man.
Man, he is a damn good looking gentleman. The problem for all his good looks, at the end of the day, he's a hard man. He plays the middle of the field. He knocks people around.
Dare I say, he's like me. Quite attractive. Not
I
afraid to
wouldn't
put a
go
boot in.
all that far
His
now.
beard is much better than
Oh,
yours.
fuck off.
And
It's
his-
the
and his-
charity
and his
thing.
Hair is way better than
Even
yours.
without the charity thing, just saying. His like shimmers and
I mean, let's face it.
flows.
His hair is the best hair in the world. I don't think.
Well,
there's
that's
better
true.
hair
I'll give you
than
that.
His hair.
I'll give you that. It's what Jack Grealish wishes his was.
Yeah,
That might
I would
have
say
to be
so.
The show title: Best Hair in the World.
Very good. I wonder if he's going to be able to still be that kind of same very aggressive, very physical guy, because that kind of an injury can change you a little. Fortunately, surgery was successful. They've already said
They've said,
three,
quote, very successful was the article I read.
3
So
to-
that's a good sign.
3 to 4 months.
Yeah, that's a great sign.
So I hope he comes back well. It's hard to get into a psyche of a guy's head, and when you're a real physical player and you go in hard on every tackle, you can't help but think about that shit when your foot's fucking going sideways.
Well, the other thing that sucks is that it was his ankle and not his leg.
yeah.
If it was a clean break on his leg, bones heal stronger than they were previously.
Yeah.
So you can wrap your head around that logically, right? You can make that in your head. But when your ankle ligaments stretch, they never go back to where they were before.
Are you able to cut as well as you do? Are
Right.
you able to hit the ball as well with that foot as you used to? Like,
Exactly.
there's a lot.
There's a lot that goes into it. If he can get over the psychological aspect of it, I think medicine is to a place now in the world where I think he could have a good career. I think definitely be a serviceable player.
But-
could he get to the same level that he is currently? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's hard to say.
80%, 85%.
Between
I don't know.
Between the ears, I think he'll be okay because he went through hell when he was at Barcelona.
Yeah.
To the point that like the papers were reporting like players won't pass him the ball when he was on the pitch. Like
Jesus
he was,
Christ.
Yeah, he went through some
What kind
real
of childish shit is that?
yeah, like some real tough shit while at Barca, and he got through that on the other side. And and he's an exceptionally friendly and charming guy off the pitch. He does a lot of stuff within the community.
Yeah.
You think that he should be okay?
I think he'll be fine.
yeah.
I think he'll be able to play, and no matter what, he'll be better than Morgan Schneiderlin.
And yeah, precisely. And I'm gonna only say the opinion once, and I don't want to get into a big long out drawn thing about this. Did Son mean to hurt him? No.
No.
Did Son mean to foul him in retaliation to getting hit in the face?
Yes.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yes.
Did he get the red card because of the injury?
Yes.
Did he deserve that red card?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. You can't let that guy stay on the field.
No.
Okay, you let that guy stay on the field, you've just signed his death warrant because
Yeah.
I guarantee you
That's fine.
somebody on that pitch would have just ran up and kicked him in his knee and broke his kneecap.
He made his fucking bed. He needs to lie in it.
Yeah.
I've done it.
Yeah.
I did it. I
Yeah.
broke someone's ankle because they fucked with my boy.
Yeah.
They let him stay on the
The look
field.
on that guy's face, he wasn't staying on the field either way. He was.
Oh, no,
most-
yeah,
he
he
was-
was the
we've-
most mortified. Like
We spent 5 minutes on this already, and it's already more than I kind of wanted to do. So
Well, speedy recovery. Hope everything goes well.
it was a shit game.
So
it
the first
took
line I actually
Everton
wrote-
fucking up to get Tottenham a goal, and then it was Everton pushing it against a 10-man side to get the equalizer. It was two teams that were so desperately afraid not to fuck up that they both fucked up.
I would have rather watched a Watford and Newcastle reserve game than the first half of this game.
Yes, agreed.
Jesus. The second half was a bit more lively, and the game needed a goal. That finally came from Dele Alli after fucking Iwobi decided not to pass to anybody.
Yes, precisely.
Not sure what that was. And then Harry Mina got nutmegged.
Yeah, it was nice to see Shank Tosin get a goal. That was
And
a
then,
great
so
header.
after the red, you all were turning the screw like crazy.
Yeah.
Pressing. But again, and we talked about this for the last few weeks, even with that, it almost seemed just aimless crosses into the box again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had
Was
the
a ton of it.
possession. Yeah, you had the possession. You
Working
were,
the ball around the outside and then occasionally putting it across. Nobody really probing. Nobody trying to
Yep.
attack the goal.
Every time it was cleared, you won the ball back at midfield at the latest point and brought it right back in. But again, just aimless crosses in the box. There was no real rhyme or reason to it. And then fucking Cenk Tosun, the totally ostracized Turkish forward,
Yep.
comes up massively for his club.
Yep.
And all of the tension and all of the emotion of what happened to Andres Gomez came out. You saw that entire stadium erupt. The players went fucking crazy. We got you, bro. We didn't lose this game. You know what I mean?
One of the fans reaches around to start to grab to hug Tosun, and Tosun throws his arms around the fan.
Yeah,
and starts hugging him.
It's just all that emotion of I'm worried about my boy, but I still got a job to do. And then he fucking gets it done.
In all the craziness that was going on with the injury, 2 people kept their calm the entire time. Lucas Digne, the captain, Cenk Tosun, that was right next to Andres Gomez, holding his hand, talking to him.
There's some
kept his cool the entire time.
There's some pretty bad things going on in Turkey.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I'm sure he's seen some shit.
Yeah, true. Now, the VAR thing that I wanted to get to, I'm going to give you 3 examples. And the one lesser, I know I'm reaching a little on the first one, but the second 2, I'm not. The first one, last week, inadvertently, Michael Keane steps on Connolly's foot. VAR calls it clear and obvious, makes it a penalty. First half, Gomez is running through the center of the box. Serge Aurier leans down with his shoulder, puts his shoulder directly into his chest, knocks him onto the ground. No play. The ball was going by him and doing what you normally do, the man or the ball, never both, but puts him on the ground where he's like gasping for air, and it had to be attended to.
Yeah, it was right like in his solar plex.
And this is a facetious question. It doesn't even need an answer. VAR, how do you look at a guy accidentally stepping on one guy's foot and calling that a clear and obvious change? You then VAR and look at that and consider that there's nothing there.
It's a different VAR.
How do you... yes. Second one, a handball. If the ball is in an unnatural position and inadvertently hits your hand...
It's a Dele Alli one, right?
It is a handball. Yes, the Dele Alli one. His hand is above his head, hits his arm, hits his arm above his head, and it is not a fucking handball. The same team. Now, here was the excuse the FA gave was the 2 players were going for the ball, and his arm was forced into an unnatural position.
Oh, fuck off.
Okay, then what about the Laporte ball?
Right.
Laporte was being pushed to the ground. His arm was going backwards as he was falling. The ball hits his hand. How is one a handball? How is another not a handball?
They just scrapped the whole fucking thing.
Arlo in that match went, how is that not a handball, right? And then Arlo, again, Richarlison, after we scored the equalizer, is running towards the goal, gets a little fuck VAR, a little bit. Last defender gets a little bit of the back of Richarlison as he's pulling back his leg to pull it away. Arlo White says that exact same play happened last week at Anfield, and they called that a penalty. How is that not a penalty?
I wonder if they do that as referees, right? Do they have their weekly meeting and go, hey, listen, you gave this penalty last week. It shouldn't have been a penalty. I don't think it was. So that situation happens this week. No red card.
No. And
you know what I'm saying?
And I'm one guy paying a hyper amount of attention to my team. I guarantee you can look at your team, and for me, unfortunately, it was all in one game. You can I mean, we didn't play well. We didn't deserve anything, but for fuck's sake, like it's black and white comparison, and clear and obvious is just this scapegoat that everybody's hiding behind, and it's fucking ruining the game right now. It's ruining the fucking game.
VAR.
Even a shit fucking performance like Tottenham fucking Everton, and they're ruining the fucking game.
VAR is like the strap-on that your wife bought because she wants to peg it, but you weren't ready for it.
It's time to tell you what little we know. It's prediction time. That's right, Sam. I thought that was the perfect way to end that segment. Well said. Going into Sammy's bedroom and his pegging exploits with his missus.
I don't do that. I'm just saying that I imagine it would ruin my marriage if she decided she wanted to do that, and I don't.
Sam?
I'm not judging. I'm just
you
saying.
You want to try some stuff?
No, thank you, darling.
He's giggling because he does, though.
Let's get into prediction time. Ray and I are big fat winners. Kitty, Graham, and Pat all take losses. So did Ray get back in touch with you with a new bet for the week?
Yes, he did.
Excellent.
3-way parlay, all in the same game.
Jesus Christ.
City to win, over 3.5 goals, and Raheem Sterling to score.
It's not impossible. That's the win's going to be the tough part, but I think over 3.5.
I think the goals are going to be the tough part.
Oh, I think that's easily at least
these games are always
2-2.
cagey. These games are always cagey.
I think there'll be goals in this match. I definitely think there'll be goals in this match.
I have to find out what the line was. He sent it to me in the message, and I forgot to write down the number because #admin.
Heard #admin.
It is paying plus 900.
Nice. Okay.
That's not bad.
So Ray is going for it.
That's not bad. Yep.
Ray, because it does everything wrong to Liverpool, I'm totally rooting for that bet to come in. So, see, you got Sam right in the midst of full jewel smoke.
I'm just annoyed Ray won and I didn't. How much did he win last week? Do we know?
I don't even remember.
I don't remember either.
I know I won last week. Did you win last week?
I did not win last week.
No, you did not.
And
so
I have...
Here we go. Yeah, I don't have to feed the cup of losers. So
I do.
please allow me to pass this to you, and you can feed the cup of losers.
So I have Palace v. Leicester over 3.5 and fucking nope.
Yeah.
What I wrote
Fucking
on
nope.
it. It's fucking nope. And then fuck VAR on the back.
Excellent.
So there we go. Cup of losers fed. This
So-
week, I will be doing a three-way parlay.
Excellent. What you got going on?
A Norwich-Watford draw.
Ooh.
Neither one of them can score goals.
You and I are going against each other.
For
a little
real?
teaser.
Ooh. So Norwich-Watford draw. Leicester to beat Arsenal
Oh, betting against your team.
at Leicester. We're shit. And Leicester's flying high, and they're at
Isolate
home.
that, please. We're shit. That needs to be isolated.
And then Jamie Vardy to score at any time. And that's plus 980.
Heard.
Those three. So I got a Norwich-Watford draw, Leicester to beat Arsenal, and Vardy to score at any time.
So,
And this is probably the safest parlay I've ever played.
heard safest parlay you've ever played. So first, I would like to say Pat is a fucking degenerate, and two, Pat is now on a slide and is now down 125.
I'm sorry, who?
Pat.
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
This is getting about as good as your lock of the week.
Heard. Damn, Pat. You hear that? Shots fired. So
He's mad because Pat is ahead of him on the favorite list from that one person
oh, that's true. Very
in
true.
the
Like,
football club.
from
Simeon.
Yeah, Simeon
from,
was listing his
from
favorites.
Monument.
And
Well,
had,
the chicken
the chicken
also
and
was
Pat
above
was
me.
ahead
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
the
you-
only one here that's tipped him.
Yeah.
He's the bartender at Monument Brewery.
Fear not, Simeon. I will be there soon enough, and I will tip you very well. So you'll be just perfectly
fuck off.
fine. So Pat always tends to like to go with one of like the marquee matchups, and he, of course, went ahead with City Liverpool as well. He said Sunday we have a huge match. Liverpool hosts Manchester City. Probably not the pick you want to try to win when you're on a losing streak, but it's a huge match, and I'll try to get it right. Fuck picking a winner. Not going to do that. But I love that the last 19 matches between these two teams have gone over 2.5 goals 14 times. I see the line right now at 3 goals. So maybe wait through the week and see if the line comes down a little. But he's going to go ahead and take the over at 105. So he's going to bet 100. I mean, he'll risk 132 to win 125. And that should get him back out of the hole and back to even again. So he said it doesn't really matter who wins the match as long as that over comes in. And he says it's going to be a great match to watch.
It was over how many?
Over 2.5. I'm sorry, over 3 currently. He's hoping it comes down to 2.5, but he'll take it. He's going to take it at 3.
So over 3 would still be 4 goals or more.
Yeah, 2-2.
Okay. And this is
He
City
said-
Liverpool.
Yes, because you were not listening at all. Because
No.
I could tell. Yeah, he was.
My
he
wife
had
texted me.
He had said the over 2.5 had hit 14 out of 19.
I listen to
So-
my wife.
So okay, very
Sorry.
good. Some of us have stronger marriages than you do because they don't listen to their wives. All right, so
You thought about a pinky?
I should have never said it.
I unfortunately hit my bet because Mane got a goal late, which means that Liverpool won. But I did get my bet, so I'm now only down 578, where I think you're down like 985.
Something like that.
Yeah, you're just gonna go ahead and lose all your child's college money, aren't you?
Yeah, no, it's bad. We got to consult the full list, but I think I'm down about 1,000.
So because I won, we clearly know that this is legit. This week's
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
Because 20% of the time it works 100% of the time, baby. I pick winners. I'm gonna keep it really, really simple. Watford finally get a win. They've been playing well enough. They've been looking good enough. It seems like they're finally getting over the hump and doing what they need to do, and they are facing the right team at the right time to do it.
I just don't see a goal scorer in that squad.
I think they'll find a goal. I absolutely think they'll find a goal. And they head to Carrow Road to face the struggling Norwich, and it is a plus 155 for them to win. So I'm going with Norwich to win. Now,
Norwich to win or Watford to win?
no, I'm sorry, Watford to win. My apologies. Watford to win. Watford to win.
I was going to hold you to it.
Yeah, no, Watford to win. So now, Sammy, if we gave you that, that would be enough. But no, I give you Kitty the chicken.
And here we go with Sam's dance routine. We have this Grandma's taking video, so I'm just
Pinky's
gonna
out.
start talking it. All right, so boys, when I went to visit Kitty up in the coop, I noticed something really weird. I'm kind of concerned. She kept sending calls to voicemail, like 3 in a row.
Bitch button?
Oh, hold on, Sammy. Does maybe Kitty owe money to the wrong people? She's been on a little bit of a slide, and
she was,
you know when she's winning, she likes to make that shit rain. So
like I said, she was acting a little cagey, like cagier
she
than
might be a
normal.
little cash tight, Sammy.
Is that a...
Vincenzo
Chicken
might be
joke?
coming to have a
Like
little
that
talk to
cagey?
her.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
good.
Yeah, you like that?
That's
I
not
gave that
bad.
on the fly. He didn't even write that for me. So, anywho, boys, I decided to give her the big one as Man City head to Liverpool. And Kitty, without thinking, flaps her wings, and suddenly Liam Gallagher climbs out of the coop, strumming a guitar,
Hold on, Liam-
singing Blue Moon.
Liam Gallagher was in my backyard?
Oh, did I forget to tell you this?
Oh, I mean, shit,
I thought it was Noel.
Nah. Maybe
No.
Noel wanted to beat the shit out of Liam, and Liam was just hanging out in the coop to get away from Noel.
Yeah, so looks like Kitty's going with a City win. And by the way, you missed it, Houston, but he did play Wonderwall, and it was fantastic.
Was Kitty sitting on your lap while you did it?
Yeah, she was like singing along. It was a cute little duet. I'll show you the pictures later.
Excellent.
All right, guys, that's it. As always, gamble.
And drink.
I pause now because I just know you're going to do that.
Because you're going to forget to do it every time.
Every
When we're in the
time.
drinking
Every
segment, you're going to forget to tell
time.
people to drink responsibly.
So gamble and drink legally and responsibly.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, I won.
We
either.
won, though.
Yeah, we won.
4-2.
Yeah,
I heard.
4-2. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Good job, guys.
So we're 3-2-3, and we got
Lot of-
one more game
A
left.
lot of hard work. A lot of, showing.
we
lot
didn't
of-
we didn't make the playoffs, so we did other things.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep. All right.
We play the team we drew a couple of weeks ago next week.
Moving on.
So that about wraps it up. Sammy, any parting words for us?
I do. Watford's Belgian player Christian Kabasele was racially abused via the internet following the Chelsea match this weekend. He reported the abuse immediately himself. Good on him. It's going to take that kind of shit to help stamp it out. Reported to the police. The police are looking into it. No details as to the fandom of the offender, if it was a fan at all of any particular club. Wouldn't surprise me if it was a Chelsea fan, though. They've been known to do that from time to time.
Yeah.
And again, fuck racism. I'm fucking tired of it, man.
Apparently,
But I'm gonna keep calling it out because it's fucking ridiculous.
apparently one of my own, apparently a dickhead Everton fan, decided to make some remarks about Son, and I'm sorry, him being Korean had nothing to do with his foul.
No.
It just nothing to do with it. So stop it.
No.
I would also say the outward pouring of love for Son as like, oh, he felt so bad. Like,
We did.
get the fuck over it. There's a guy with a broken fucking foot in a hospital bed, and I've seen stories where they're like, "Oh, we feel bad for Son and the guy he injured." Like,
Not even his name.
yes, we understand he feel bad.
I do feel bad for Son.
The man still did run 40 yards down the field to make sure he got that tackle in
That
because
doesn't
he
change
was a little
how
pissed
bad
off.
I feel for Andre Gomes either, though.
Yeah, precisely.
But I do feel bad for Son too. I mean, he's a good all around good person.
Yeah.
He basically. So there's a story why Son's not married.
Okay.
is because he wants to devote his time to his wife and children when he finally does. So he's waiting until he retires to find a woman.
And then he'll get married.
And then he'll get married.
very
He's
nice.
just an all-around good bloke. He's like Uncle San, the Korean guy.
And that's a lot. That's a
yeah.
lot coming from you, a gunner, to talk about a Spur.
But yeah, I mean,
Kinda.
after the season, on the field last year, after the season, he's walking around playing with everybody else's kids.
Yeah.
Like he's just Uncle San, the Asian guy, just hanging out. Everyone loves him too. Like he was playing peekaboo, everything. He's an all-around good guy.
Yeah.
That should not take away from how bad you feel for the guy who broke his fucking ankle, though.
Right. And no reason to say racist bullshit. It's fucking
It's
stupid.
ridiculous. It makes no sense.
It
doesn't do anything.
It's the easiest out, and it makes you the lowest common denominator. If that's what
Absolutely.
you got to go to. If that's what you got to go to, it means you're not intelligent enough to come up with a real thoughtful remark to fuck with somebody.
Yeah, and it's not even clever. People of all shades, of all colors, of all sexes, of all races, of all creeds, religions, everyone has fucked up.
Yeah.
Everyone does fucked up shit. There are fucked up people in every corner of this planet. Doesn't matter where you hail from.
Got to do the old Dane Cook bit and say you're stupid like your father. Like
Yeah,
you got to come
exactly.
up with something cerebral.
I'm
something
starting
that'll
to
fuck
feel,
with a person.
Right. If you're going to be anything, be like George Carlin. Just hate everybody.
Yeah,
equally.
precisely.
But it's still equal.
So thank you very much for joining us, boys and girls. Next up is injury time. We're going to talk about the whole weekend, especially the big one. We're going to talk a ton about City and Liverpool match coming up. You want to find? Yeah, exactly. You want to find out how to get injury time? Go to our Patreon page, and all the information's there. So
www.patreon.com/DUfootballshow.
excellent. And till then, kids, we'll talk to you next week.
Peace.
There are two types of men in this world. There are men who have had fingers up their ass, and there are men that are lying about having fingers up their ass.